What is up, everybody? We want to welcome you to the first episode of Sports, Bets, but Mostly Chaos. I'm Craig.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Benny.
I'm Jason.
We want to welcome you in. Just give you a little background on us. It was about 5 weeks ago. This all just kind of started in a group chat, between us and some others. We were just talking sports, and Ben had this great text message just saying, how fun would it be if we had our own podcast? And just fast forward to today, and here we are. So giving this a go. Months ago, I probably would never predicted that we would actually be here starting a podcast, let alone during a pandemic. We do hope you and your loved ones are all healthy and safe during all this that's going on. Now, for all of you that are watching that know us, you will probably understand the mostly chaos part of the title of of our name. Now, if you don't, just give us about 5 minutes and it's probably going to click pretty easy for you. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. Our handle is at SBBMC_podcast. Give us a follow there. We want to hear from you. So anything you want to comment, anything you want to say, feel free to do so. We also are on a YouTube channel. It's Sports, Bets, but Mostly Chaos Podcast. Hit that subscribe button so you will know when there's new content. And like I said, we want to hear from you. Comment everywhere on the channel, on our socials. We want to be about the people. So yeah, we would love to hear from you there. Today's show, let's get into a little bit what we're going to talk about. We're going to start things off. We got NHL action. We got to talk about the Sharks, the Ducks, exactly where they're at. The April 12th trade deadline is nearing soon. We can talk about some guys we think are on the move from both teams, as well as anybody else in the NHL we think is going to be shipped out. We'll also get into the NBA. The trade deadline has come and passed today, as well as a Warriors update on what's going on with them. A couple of small trades that they did make, maybe not the one that a lot of people were expecting, but there were some moves. We'll get into that. And then it's MLB preview time. All right. We are a week away, guys, from opening day. I'm pumped up. So we are going to talk about A's. We got some Angels talk we want to get into. We've all got our own division predictions, and we all have our way too early World Series prediction. We'll get into all that a little bit later on. And then we got the Cohooney 5. The Cohooney 5 will follow that after that. That's a nice little bet we got coming your way. Then we have a nice little fun segment kind of towards the end as we're getting close to wrapping up. It's the Hit It or Quit It segment. It's a nice roundtable discussion. We'll have questions that asks, and we will all decide whether we are hitting it or are we quitting it. And this is, again, that's something, we want to hear from you too, as well. Get your questions in. You never know. We might feature it on a future show. Then we got some shout outs. We got some people, we got some, some businesses that have struggled during the last year, during this whole pandemic. We want to shout out, get them out there. Same thing. We want to hear from you guys. Throw them out there. You never know. We just might feature some stuff that you shout out as well. So, all right, well, let's get this thing going. We're going to start these off with the NHL. The Sharks and the Ducks, just a quick little update. The Sharks are coming off back-to-back victories against the Kings on Monday and Wednesday by the margins of 2-1, as well as 4-2. They're now sitting at 13-4-4. That's 30 points. That's almost 500, depending how you look at it. I've always been a guy that I pretty much count overtime losses as losses equivalently. I know by points, it's 500, but I mean, I still see them as basically 5 games under. They're sitting in 7th place in that Honda West division. So that's 7 points. So again, they're 7 points out of a playoff spot. They are trailing the Blues for that final spot. They do have a game in hand. I don't really know how you guys view the Sharks' potential of making the playoffs. I really don't think it's very likely. I think one thing that is kind of a big issue for them is in this truncated season, 56 games, everyone in divisions playing the same amount of teams. So it's not just about catching the Blues. You've also got to in that time frame, you've also got to pass the teams that are ahead of you. They're not even a playoff spot, which is the Coyotes and the Kings. So it's going to be pretty tough to do so. I guess the one bright side on that is the fact that the Blues do have a really tough schedule down the line, including, which means 18 of their last 23 games, they're all against other teams in the playoffs right now. They have 8 against the Wild, 6 against the Avalanche, and 4 against the Knights. So yeah, the Blues have a very tough road ahead of them. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, so going back to kind of the games that the Sharks had, they did win both of those games. I did see a lot more of the action on Monday than I did Wednesday. Just to kind of go into recap, a little bit of Monday's game, I kind of started to seem like the Sharks finally got some bounces that were going their way, which I think in the recent games before that, I just don't think they're in their favor. And I'll be straight up to say it. I don't think this team is very good. I don't think they're awful, but at the same time, like I said, I don't think they're very good. It's hard to see this team pretty much get away with playing elite teams such as Vegas and the Avalanche and not playing their best game and somehow coming away with victories. And that's the thing too, is I think with these two games with the Kings, I don't think we saw the best of what the Sharks have, but I think they're on such an even level with the Kings that they were able to not play their best game, but they're still able to get the victories. And one stat you look at is that in the two games combined, they were outshot 88-51. That is an incredibly large margin. And obviously Martin Jones was probably the best we've seen Martin Jones all season long in those two games. And one thing I did also notice too is, in that first game, the Sharks took 5 penalties. Some really kind of lazy penalties too. They got some high sticks. They had some trips in there. I know Carlson got called for pretty bad holding penalty early in the game. I think it was just playing aggressive. But one thing that was good is that they kept the Kings in the two games to 0-for-7 on the power play. The Kings came in with the 6th best power play in the entire league going into that. So regardless of how, tough, I think, or any of you guys think how the Kings are, the 6th best power play is pretty good. So that was definitely good to see, was keeping the Kings off the board in the power play. Another huge stat too, Martin Jones. That's a good question is I want to lead into before I get into it. Your thoughts with Martin Jones. Do you guys feel that, Jones is maybe just playing out of his mind right now? Do you guys think this is going to continue? I mean, where do you guys feel on that one?
I'll let the old
Jason, you
timer
wanna
go
go first?
first.
I think he's on a streak right now, obviously, but with the trade deadline coming up, I would move him if somebody was interested. Just not a believer really, and I think just to get for the Sharks in general, I want to see the younger players play, develop them. Mm-hmm. Like you said, they are not a playoff team. It's time to see the younger players play and go from there. And I don't think Jones is part of the future, so let's just.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one.
Jones is definitely not part of the future, but with his contract that he has right now, there's just no way they're moving him.
True.
No one's going to take that contract. They have a better shot of moving Dubnyk and hoping that this is the Martin Jones they get the rest of the year. But I think he just was playing the Kings and got lucky, and because he definitely had his best 2 games these last 2 games, especially Monday. He saved so many. I'm like, oh my God, how did he save that?
Yeah, he does.
And I haven't seen Jones do that in years.
Yeah, well, he does love playing the Kings. I kept seeing, this bit of an interview from years ago. I think Hedekin was interviewing him after a game, and he straight up said, "Oh, I love beating those guys." So he does seem to put in his best work against them. Ben, I'd love to hear your opinion on it as well.
I think that he's just putting on a show, trying to get moved, but his contract is just it's like, it reminds me of Luongo. It's just terrible. You're not going to move him. Luongo only got moved because they had so many parts that they had to swap out, and then in the end, it didn't even work out for either team. Yeah. And if anyone goes for Jones, they'd be really stupid because he's
you shake their hand and you bake them. You bake them.
He's just not consistent anymore. And then Dubnyk, I think, will be the more likely candidate to move. And you guys got that young Russian kid or whatever. I can't remember his name, but he got the netminder. He got a little bit of playing time when Jones was not playing so great, and he got an early little action. But someone that you want to see develop and become kind of a franchise player later down the road. But unfortunately, I think you guys are gonna have to ride it out with Jones for a little while until you really decide to say screw it and buy him out. But
They definitely should buy him out after the end of the year, whatever
should,
it costs.
The good thing is, if you want to look at some numbers of Jones, if you look at his last 4 games, this is after he got pulled in that Vegas game where he gave up like 3 goals on 8 shots. He's been 3-0-1. He's only given up 5 goals in total in those 4 games. His save percentage is .966. He stopped 142 shots out of 147 total. And if you looked at the goals that he gave up, even in the 2 games against the Kings, it was like good luck. I think it was Derek Roy had just blasted a 1-T off of a face-off in the game on Monday. And then there was a crazy redirection. I want to say it was by Iafallo on Wednesday. Yeah. That was good. And then I think the second play, he kind of bit hard. Drew Doughty made a nice play. And I will blame Erik Karlsson for this one. He did not do a very good job of getting his
always Karlsson's fault.
And you know what's funny? Karlsson always does this thing too. If you guys, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but sometimes when he messes up when he's front of the net, he just does this big, like, he raises his like head up and he shrugs like, damn it, I did it again. I just did it again.
That was an $11 million shrug. So you guys better enjoy it.
Oh yeah. And you got to think about it. Like, it doesn't matter how good Jones plays. He could be playing the greatest net minding of his life. The Sharks defense is still bad.
Yeah.
No,
so like
I would 100% agree with you on that one.
A couple years ago, you guys had some solid defense, but now it's just leaky. It's just straight up leaky. You have no consistency. You can tell even the veteran players like Vlasic, Karlsson, Burns, they're running into each other, and there's no reason for that. Ferraro is doing all right.
We only have one real good young defenseman. I always blank on his name because it's not Ferraro. It's the other guy.
Nikolai Knizhov.
Yeah, Knizhov.
Yeah,
he's solid.
Good. Yeah,
he's solid.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah, he'll probably hopefully be part of that future. But
hopefully he's the next Vlasic.
Yeah,
we need one.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a guy over the previous years. I mean, there's no denying that Jones has been one of the worst, if not the worst, statistical goalie in the NHL over the past couple of years. But I've always been one to kind of look at the play ahead of him, just the guys in front of him, and it's just like, when the defense does you no favors, it's like, what do you really expect from Jones to do? I will say, though, in those years, I have been saying that the key saves, the ones that you need Jones to make when you absolutely need it, is the ones that he lets in. And they're the weak ones. They're the ones that he needs to stop. And that's been a struggle. I mean, that's one thing I think I have noticed in these 2 games, these last couple. And I think even during this little stretch, this nice little stretch he's put over in the last 4, as he's made some key saves. He has made some big ones. Right off the bat, I can think of Monday. I think there was a play kind of late in the game where Iafallo got some space by himself, and Jones just kind of came out and just stuffed him, which was good to see for sure.
I'm just sorry to interrupt. He's just he's being more aggressive. He's not sitting on the goal line anymore, sitting deep in his crease. He's actually playing goalie, and he's not just watching. And I think that possibly Devin Dubnyk kind of getting a couple wins under his belt, maybe lit a fire under Jones, because he was riding a donut for a while. And so Jones is kind of like, well, there's no real reason to try because this guy sucks. Yeah. And then he gets 2 wins and he's like, uh-oh, never mind.
Yeah. Plus, he's probably riding a lot of confidence too. I mean, he's got to feel good about his gameplay. And I mean, he has earned it. I'll give him that, he's been playing well, but just trying to kind of shift topics a little bit. Also what happened Wednesday's game, Couture did get hit kind of late. If you guys saw it, it was I think it was within the last like 2 minutes of the game. The Kings had pulled their netminder. Couture was about center ice, and I think he just dumped it. He just got hit awkwardly. I don't think it was a dirty hit or anything like that. I know Carter got called for a penalty. Couture
sticking.
I got called for high sticking. I don't know if he got hit in the face. I mean, it had to be. Couture gets hit in the face like every 2 games. It seems
by the puck, though. But by the puck.
I mean, potato. I mean, the guy's getting hit, unfortunately. So, I mean, I don't know what else you can do. But I haven't seen any updates on him. Whether or not, I don't know if there's concussion protocol, something like that. I mean, if it's a hit to the head, obviously they're gonna have to do some sort of thing. But I don't think the Sharks are going to see him miss out anytime. Stuff like that. One player I think I do want to highlight, a couple. I do want to give honorable mention to Rudolph Spalsers. I think that kid has been impressive. I'm very happy the Sharks were able to get that guy back after Ottawa essentially just let him go. I mean, he was one of the players that was dealt to Ottawa for Erik Karlsson. I mean, the kid's been good. He's been one of those. I mean, I would guess I would consider him a bottom 6 forward, but I think he's been getting some time on the second line. I think he is a guy that the Sharks are going to want to keep, and I think he's a guy that will hopefully be in the future. But that's one guy I do want to get honorable mention. I think he's been good. He did score a goal on Wednesday. But one guy too is Evander Kane. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know with you. I just don't know with you. I don't know about how you guys feel. But to me, I think he right now, just performance-wise, I think he's the best player on the team. One thing that has been, I think one of it has been his Achilles heel over the last few years is when he's been with the Sharks, is the guy he's not disciplined. He takes way too many penalties. And for a guy who can score 30 plus goals in a year, he can't be spending time in the box. He cannot be going in the box, getting in fights and getting into scuffles with guys. It shouldn't be up to him to do that. Something that's been interesting, I did look this up. In his last 18 games, I'll open it to you guys. If you guys could guess, how many penalty minutes do you guys think Kane has had in his last 18 games? I'll take your best guesses from everybody.
It's like 2.
Okay, Ben, you had 2. Anybody else?
I'll say 10.
10. Okay, John.
I'll go around 8.
Okay, pretty close. John was the closest. He's only had 6 penalty minutes in his last 18 games, and in that span, he's got 20 points. So he's averaging a little bit over a point a game. So, I mean, kudos to him. I mean, I don't know if whatever Bugner maybe said to him, maybe finally got to him and said, hey, man, like, we need you on the ice. You're the guy that needs to score goals for us. So, I mean, I don't know.
He needs to stay on the ice so he gets paid so he can pay off all the debt.
Yeah, he's got a lot of debt to pay off.
He can't afford to get fined or suspended this year.
He's letting it ride that he won't get any more big penalties coming up this next few games.
All right. Well, anyways, however you feel on that aspect of it, we can go move on a little bit. Ben, I want to hear how you're feeling about your Ducks lately.
Sad as hell that I had to renew my NHL membership thing to watch them, but I got to keep in touch with them and see how they're doing. And, it's just been terrible. Like I had a low expectation going in, and they're doing exactly that. They are second to last in the league, and thankfully all I can say is Buffalo's in the league because we're ahead of them, and that's it. Going 3-10 so far in March is atrocious, and 3 comeback victories, like multiple goal deficits, sure, great, nothing to be proud of because it does. And it's just there's little to no light. I mean, I'm excited to see Zegras and Drysdale play. Zegras, World Juniors, like we were talking about him plenty during the World Juniors, and he's sick. But dude, he's just chasing the puck. And he's helping pull pucks out of our own net. Like, what's that going to do for development, right? Like, right. And so it's a big flop of a year. I think Getzlaf might try to pull a Thornton and dip out. Try to get into a deep run with someone else just to give it a try. But I don't think he'll be pushing like Thornton and Marlowe did. But if someone comes up and says, hey, you want an opportunity? I could see him taking an opportunity at it. And because this team is going to be struggling for a couple of years, unfortunately. And God, this name, I hate this name. Shattenkirk. My new Nick Ritchie. I hate the guy. He sucks. I've never seen a Stanley Cup winning defenseman like this where he can't even keep a puck in on the blue line. Like, I don't care if it's hopping, if it's flat on the ice, he misses it. He's like, he's always on the ice when they score. He's just lazy. He is just purely. He is literally Erik Karlsson's doppelganger.
That's
all right.
harsh.
That's a little bit of a that's a flag. That's a flag. I gotta add that in there. They gotta throw a flag. There's a penalty on that one for sure.
I mean, they all I can say is the only good thing is the season's almost over. That's the bright side to it. But I think that overall they've just been making other teams look really good, and they've been playing a terrible part in regards to trying to be a spoiler this year. They are just rolling over and letting teams have their way, which I'm sure all of you guys are loving, because especially that 6-0 loss to you guys, that was atrocious.
Yeah, as a fan, I do, but one thing that reminds me of too is that when that happened, I think there was a lot of like talk with the Sharks, like, oh man, because I think that was when the Sharks had like won 3 in a row or whatever it was, and it was like, oh man, look at them go. I think that's 500. And I was like, wait till they play Vegas. They're about to play Vegas in their barn, see how it plays out. And regardless of the fact that, they kept it close, they blew a lead last Wednesday. That is a game. You cannot do that. And Couture even straight up said, he got asked in post game, well, how do you feel? You guys were in the game compared to early on. Dude, he straight up said, moral victories suck. And you know what moral victories do? They get you nothing in the standings. They lost both those games straight up. And I don't know if you know this, but no surprise, they're 0-5. I don't care. Don't give me this 0-4-1. Oh, we got a point in that one game that we scored. Remember LeBanc scored that crazy goal late in the game? No. Screw that. They lost all 5 games. They haven't beat them.
Where's this Craig been my whole life? Jeez, he's always.
Oh yeah, I could tell. I could tell you're a little heated with all the.
And the point is, look, if you don't know me, I love the Sharks. Okay, like, and I know that because it frustrates me to hell when they're not good. But I can be extremely real because there's no point of sugarcoating it. Be real about it. I mean, it's fine. I mean, people might listen to me and they might think like, oh, this guy's not a Sharks fan. He doesn't have faith in my team. Trust me, I want to have faith in this team, but I am very real when it comes to being a follower of any teams that I like. I'm very real about it. I will cheer. I will be there when they do well. Not to say that I won't be there when they're doing good. I'm still watching this team play. I'm still watching their games, but you gotta be real. I mean, it was fun in games when I was 16 in high school, but dude, I'm like 27 now, and it's just like, come on, you got to be a little real about some things.
72-year-old over here.
Oh boy.
There you go.
I can tell how heated you're getting with all the table slamming.
It's a big deal to see your team fail with, like, for me, it's one thing. It sucks to just see my team suck because I want to see my team do well. But for you have high caliber talent, and that should be kicking ass. Yeah. No doubt. Like, you guys have on paper a seriously great, dangerous team, and you guys are playing terrible.
That's a frustrating thing too, is I think a lot of close. Is you look at the contracts that they're paying, and it's like, they have to be competing. So and actually I did want to share something I did see this on Instagram, just to put in perspective. So I want you guys in your minds to fast forward to the year 2025. It seems like a long time. It's really not that far from now.
Corey Perry wins a second Stanley Cup.
It's 2025. Okay.
Okay. No.
How about no?
So the Sharks in 2025, they're going to still be paying $41.5 million to the following: 35-year-old Logan Couture, 33-year-old Evander Kane, 34-year-old Erik Karlsson, 40 years old Brent Burns, and 37-year-old Marc-Edouard Vlasic, which we can go on about this all day. Vlasic is, in my mind,
Vlasic won't be there by then.
And there's a lot of fans, that are on. And the thing is like, Vlasic's been on the team for a long time. He's been in there his whole career. I like Vlasic. I have a Vlasic jersey. I like the man. But the thing is in my mind, he is by far the most aggressive defenseman that they have.
Yeah, he's too slow for the game now. He used to be good because he was a defensive defenseman. And people are sitting there saying, Sharks fans are saying like, oh, he's not generating offense. It's like, that's because you're too wound up with Burns. Yeah, you're too wound up with Burns, Karlsson, even Shimmick. Like, these guys are offensive scorers. Dude, Vlasic, he scores like 3 to 5 goals a year for you guys? Like, that's right?
Maybe.
Right? Like,
Vlasic was, we had Jason Demers, we had Justin Braun, then we have Vlasic. Like, at no point in their careers were they supposed to score these goals. Why do you think
Yeah.
they're matched up with Carlson and Burns?
Exactly. And that's why it works to have that pairing compared to Burns and Carlson early when you guys got Carlson. We watched Burns and Carlson play together, and that was seriously
as much as you'd
horrifying.
love to see those two work together and just put up amazing numbers. They have
zero
never
chemistry.
clicked. Never
Zero
clicked.
chemistry. I
Never
think
clicked.
more the center was playing defense the entire shift while those two were deep in the zone. It's like, what are you doing? You know? And that's difficult to see. Even for me, I'm a Ducks fan. I screw the Sharks, but that's tough for me to watch because that's just bad hockey.
Oh boy. Okay. Anyways, I actually did come up
Is
with
that a Sharks jersey in the background?
Probably.
Got it at the thrift store.
Okay. This is actually a good question. I'm really curious on your thoughts on this one, Ben, too. Obviously, with this shortened season, you're seeing the same, 7 opponents the whole time. If you could pick just one of the opponents the Ducks have played, is there any one of them that you feel like has given you the most headache to watch? Like, I think I don't know, I'll ask Jason and John as well. But for me, it's probably watching them play Vegas just because there's such a difference in their style of play. And it's really, once you get to those bottom 6 is where you see the depth, the difference between those two teams. And it's just a headache because it just seems like those two teams are just on completely different levels for me. So I'm curious though, Ben, is there any that one team that you're just like, I don't want to see the Ducks play them anymore?
Really, it would have to be it's got to be maybe the Sharks or the Avalanche, but I would say obviously more so the Avalanche just because it's a faster team.
Yeah.
The other game they played, they got 2 goals and then they gave up or 3 goals or something. I don't know. And then they gave up like 8 unanswered goals. And I was like, that's awesome, guys. Yeah. You are good. And
I think, I would say, I think the one thing with the Avs though, which I actually would say I actually enjoy watching because the Avs are like a fun team to watch. I mean, they have a lot of young talent. That young defensive core they have, my God, I wish if only the Sharks had a defensive core like that. So I think in a sense, as much as I think they have put some beatdowns on the Sharks this year, it has definitely been fun to see them play. They're a good fun team to watch. But anyways, but yeah, John, Jason, what about you guys?
You want to go first, Jay?
It's Vegas for me. I think every time they play Vegas, I'm just hoping it's competitive. I'm expecting them to lose 4-1, 4-0 every game. And I'm just looking for an entertaining game. But Vegas is this top to bottom, really solid. And I'm tired of seeing them.
Yeah.
Anybody but Vegas.
So I'm gonna go with a different route. I'm gonna go so the Avalanche and Vegas coming into the season, I knew we were not going to be passing them. They were going to be better than us. So to me, it's the Blues and the Coyotes because it's like, how many times are we going to play them and lose? Like these, if we were going to make the playoffs, it was going to be that team. And just to watch the 7-6 game that we just kept like every time we had a chance against the Blues, they just came back and like that game was just. I think that game was like the fork in the back, pulled it out, and you're like, yeah, your season's done. Just no.
Actually,
we needed a win.
Yeah, I like that. I like that look at it, that perspective. Before we move on to any topics, like I said, the trade deadline, it's coming up April 12th. We talk about any guys that we think are moving. My opinion, I would think the Sharks are going to be sellers. No way are they going to be buyers. There's no way they could do that. Be sellers. I mean, I don't think anybody big is going to move. I don't see them moving a guy like Logan or Evander. I don't see anything like that. Maybe they get rid of Dubnyk. Like I said, I like kind of like how you guys pointed earlier. I don't think Jones is a guy they can move. I don't think there's anybody that's going to take him on. Dubnyk, I think, is a possibility that he could get moved. Maybe a smaller bottom 6 guy. Marcus Sorensen, I think, has been talked about. They've been talking about in the post and pregame about Patrick Marleau about getting moved. And I mean, you guys know it. I love Patty Marleau, but I mean, the guy's got like 5 points this year and he's got 1 goal. And I said it before the season started. I don't think that guy was going to score a goal this year. He's got 1. And it was because Evander Kane just found him back door. He had a wide open net to score at. And I mean, again, like I said,
it was a Craig goal.
Probably.
I mean, I think after this season, after this season and he breaks the all-time game record, he's probably going to walk away. I mean, he has nothing left to prove. He's done, and it's it's time to move on. And kind of like Jumbo, you want them to see him win a cup, preferably with the Sharks, but that's just not realistic. So maybe they decide to trade him.
So Marlowe in any other season they would trade him just because
Probably.
someone would maybe get like a 4th, 5th rounder for him.
I
But
think they're
this
going to want to
year-
move him too. They're going to want to try to move him. I think.
I don't think so. I think that they would like to see him break Gordie Howe's record for most games played as a Shark.
As a Shark. And
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess that makes
So
sense. Yeah.
they're not going to move him. I mean, what's a 5th, 6th round pick compared to seeing Patrick Marleau break the record?
seeing
as a
history
Shark.
in teal,
Yeah.
Exactly.
that's huge.
Yep.
So for trade wise, Dubnyk is the obvious choice. Another one I could see. I mean, I don't know his contract that well, but I could see them maybe moving Donato, just because he could get a return because he is a good player. It's just doesn't seem like he's clicking in.
He's got some hands though. He reminds me a lot of Donskoy and I'm not talking about just in a shootout, but when he gets some space, he's pretty dangerous. But I think that he would be better off playing with somewhere like Colorado or somewhere where it's fast paced, high skill. Sharks are just, to be perfectly honest, the Sharks don't know what the hell they are. They don't know if they want to be a fast skill team or if they want to be a slow, patient team breaking out. They cannot seem to make up their mind because one shift they're really slow and laggy, and then the other one Evander Kane's going end to end. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough to get a feel. But I mean, okay, is there anybody else, Ben, like Ducks wise, anybody else in the league we think might be getting dealt? Any big
I
names?
think a lot of, I was mostly focusing on goaltending, a lot of goaltending. You guys hit it on the nose with Dubnyk, just because Jones is impossible, I think. But you know what? Like Gibson, big talks that he may not want to be there anymore. And you got Markstrom, who's kind of hot and cold in the Flames. And biggest flop for me was Holtby in Vancouver. I was going to want to put $100 on Vancouver to win the Stanley Cup, dude. Like they had a stacked team.
Holtby was a guy before he was off season. I was hoping the Sharks were going to go grab him, but obviously that would have probably not panned out very well.
He's terrible.
What about Murray? Where did he go and what is he doing?
He's Ottawa, and he's playing like crap.
Yeah, like
he's
and to think like
like Elvis, your guy John from Columbus, he's in the talks of being moved as well. So there's a lot of goaltending. Fleury, of course, he's always being circled around. Like it always seems to ponder back to him. Like, oh, you're okay. Fleury's good in Vegas. Oh no, we want him back in Pittsburgh. We want him back there. It just keeps coming back. So I could see him just making a move, but I keep seeing him start. It's not Leonard anymore. So I guess maybe he is their guy. It's kind of a weird year, just given the fact that it is a shortened season and you got limited time. So they kind of have to just roll with it for this year, with a lot of teams. I think they're biting the bullet on a lot of contracts and they don't really want to, but the value is not there anymore for this season with them.
Gotcha. All right, we got some bets. We've got some NHL bets we want to get into before we transition on. Anybody got some? Anybody want to? Who wants to start it off? Ben, you look ready to go. Let's start you off.
Yep. I got some good ones for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, not saying you guys got to do it as a parlay, but, tomorrow, I think that the Caps will be a winner over the Devils because, the Devils are just an inconsistent team this year. Coming on to, I believe they're back-to-backs. I believe they played this evening. And Blues over the Ducks, that's easy money. Anyone can pick that one. Come on, let's go. Sharks over the Coyotes. I think that the Sharks are playing pretty well. And you got the Flames over the Jets, which, like I said, it's a hot and cold situation, but I think the Flames will kind of find their groove against the Jets here. And and then so Saturday, Boston over the Buffalo Sabres. Anytime you can bet against the Sabres, do it. Don't matter. Avalanche over Knights, Islanders over Penguins, the Blackhawks over the Preds, and again the Sharks over the Yotes. Even after back-to-backs, I think they'll take both. And then Sunday, Jackets over the Red Wings, Blues over the Ducks again, Devils. I think they'll take the Bruins on this one because the Bruins will be coming off of a back-to-back themselves, and I think the Devils will be ready to play. The Panthers over the Stars, and then the Blackhawks over the Predators. Those are my bets, guys. So feel free to play off of that.
All right, I got a couple for you. A couple. This is all for tomorrow's Coyotes and Sharks game. First one I'm gonna go with. We're gonna go Sharks money line in the second period. So early on this season, the Sharks second period was just absolutely atrocious. That was the period that you just wanted to go have dinner. You didn't want to watch the game. Don't want to throw up your food. That was what you wanted to do. The Sharks have really turned that around. They've made that a lot better to the point in their last 11 games, they're now 6-1-4. So that 4 is just, when they've either both not scored or it's been a 1-1 ratio. So they've been a lot better in the second period. And the Yotes are 1-4-1 in that situation, their last 6, giving up goals. So we're going to take the Sharks money line in the second period. That's a -105 for that bet there. And then I was wanting to take the Sharks just altogether, but I think the safer bet here is just to take the Sharks plus the 1.5. The Yotes, they have 14 wins this year. 4 of those wins have come by 2 or more. So a lot of those wins are just by a singular goal. And the Sharks record against these teams that are, not in the current playoff situation right now. So that's the Coyotes, the Kings, and the Ducks. They're 8-2-1. So they're playing pretty well against those teams. And the Sharks now haven't even lost a game to either of those teams or more than a goal since February 11th at LA. So I like the Sharks plus 1.5 tomorrow. That's a -235. So both those things, you got to bet a lot to win a good chunk. But you know what? I just think it's the safest route. Why play it safe? It's the first episode. Let's ease our way into this. Don't go too crazy. You got to make it to next week. You got to make it to tomorrow. That's the way it works. You got to make it into tomorrow. Okay. All right. Anyways, who's next?
But I don't have. Oh, there goes all my money. I have no bets that I feel confident when it comes to hockey for this weekend, so I'm just gonna pass to you, Jay.
All right.
I got nothing for hockey this week.
Okay. All right. Hey, you know what? Still all the way around. All right. Let's transition, guys. NBA trade deadline. It's come and passed. We got Warriors. Let's go with you guys. What are you guys feeling? What's the good word going on in the NBA right now?
Go ahead and start, Jay.
Let's take you back to when the season started on draft night, and we got the news that Klay Thompson's going to be out for the year. The Warriors championship hopes went down the drain, and they drafted James Wiseman. And it's a developmental year. We're not expecting them to win a championship this year. At this point, they'd be lucky to make the playoffs.
Want to go a little closer?
Steve Kerr a couple weeks back, I think a month back, said that when people on Warriors Twitter were going after him about not playing Steph Curry enough, he was playing 32 minutes. I think people wanted him to play maybe 38 to 40 minutes, and he made a comment said that he was not chasing wins this year, which I understand, but at the same time, you need to play your young players like James Wiseman and Jordan Poole, develop them because they're part of your future next year. I mean, assuming Klay comes back, not 100%, but 90, 95%, you got to be ready to go guns blazing and trying to win another championship. And James Wiseman, as a second pick overall, that's your future. You need to get him going. Play through the mistakes. I think James Wiseman should be playing anywhere between 26 to 30 minutes a night, starting and closing games, because that's really your development. And playing with your second team, that's not going to do anything for him.
So with Wiseman, he is still really green.
Of course,
it's not for the season, which is why Kerr didn't play him many minutes at the beginning of the season. But now that he's come back from his injury, they're borderline fringe 9-8 seed, play in maybe. He's going to be playing close to 30 for the rest of the year, so we'll finally get to see some potential. But yeah, he's a project. He's probably 2 years out from being able to finally be a potential. You'll see his ceiling. But yeah, when it comes like once Clay got hurt, and then we got Oubre, I was still excited because I was like I could see Oubre what he did last year, and then hey, we're getting Wiggins. He's good. He's a 20 points per game kind of player. More than that. But man, Wiggins, I don't know. I'm just not too thrilled with his play. Like it just because he doesn't play defense as well. We're losing when we lost Clay. He's kind of making up for Clay's points, but he doesn't make up for his defense. No one does because Clay's the best defensive guard in the league, but at least like kind of help out. But like his defense is not bad. His shooting has just been so hot and cold. So it's all come down to Steph, and even though he's putting up his MVP numbers, he doesn't have Clay there playing defense to help. We don't have the bench that we used to have. So this season they can still give it a go. When Curry gets back from his tailbone injury, they can give it a go. Whether or not he's going to, whether or not they'll make the playoffs, it's to see how they do. But it'll still be fun to see them. And they're still a fight. I was kind of hoping they would make some moves today, but they kind of the two moves they made. It was Wanamaker traded. What did Wanamaker do for the Warriors? Nothing. And then Marquise Chris. Marquise Chris, it really stinks because I really thought he was going to be a good forward off the bench, and then he goes down with a season-ending injury, and then they ship him off to the Spurs for picks. So it sucks because like you can see the potential, especially if Clay was healthy. Obviously, if Clay was healthy, Oubre wouldn't be there. But at the same time, like it just. That's the way the Warriors are going to go. And they could still make the playoffs because what do they got to pass? They got to pass, I think it's like Memphis. And there's one other team I'm trying to think because Portland's at the 7th seed.
Yeah, they're currently 9th in the West. They're looking at the playing game right now, which is something that they started. Play Oubre. The good thing about they traded Chris to San Antonio. He's a free agent next year, so he could potentially come back next year.
Yeah,
I think it was a salary cut, just to open up 2 roster spots, maybe for the G League or a bought out veteran.
They signed. I think they signed Jeremy Lin to a 10-day NBA contract because he's already in the G League, but I think they're going to be bringing up Jeremy Lin and give him a go for 10 days and see how it goes. I think that's another reason they got rid of Wanamaker, but also Jordan Poole's. I don't know if explosion's the correct term, but like ever since Curry went out, Jordan Poole he's showing a lot of promise, and I don't know if that's our future at point guard. Once Curry does finally, I still think Curry's got 7 years in him, but like are those 5 to 7 years all-star, best in the league caliber? I'm unsure. Right. He's obviously going to end his career as like a Ray Allen, a 3 bench guy, come off the bench, hit a 3, no defense, which is still solid. He probably played so into his 40s, but Jordan Poole is obviously their future point guard, which is good considering they didn't grab LaMelo. So if you're not going to grab LaMelo, where is the future going to be? And I guess it's through Jordan Poole.
I put all my money on the Knicks to win it all.
And that's why you're broke.
Oh, okay. And that's why you don't talk NBA.
I don't think so, Tim.
No,
hey, Ben, did you see how I was quiet during Fox, I have nothing to say. Yeah, this is what you do. Stay quiet. Well, we're gonna get into the Angels in the next topic.
No, yeah. But getting back to the pool, I think
So what you think of the
when he went down to the G League bubble, did a lot for him.
All right. Before we look to do any transition, is there anything just overall NBA wise, any trades that went down you guys want to bring up or anything like that?
Yeah, the Houston Rockets.
Yeah,
that was
awful. What are they doing?
They've pretty much flipped James Harden
for trash
for Kelly Olynyk, Avery Bradley, and a couple of first round picks. Like, what are you doing?
And
that was so bad.
I'll be perfectly honest.
We don't need the soundboard. It's just that bed right there.
Accuse him up.
James Harden, I did not like his game in Houston at all. I thought he was just a bog and dribble. Wait till 4 seconds left on the shot clock and then shoot it up. But when he's playing with the Nets, man, this guy is balling out of control, and he might win the MVP.
Do you think that maybe he just realizes he's like, hey, if this is my chance to win, an NBA Finals, it's gonna be next to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So
Probably.
I mean, it might kill him a little bit inside, but he's trying to be maybe a better team player, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, he knows that once Kevin Durant gets back, he's not the number one, and he's playing defense too. That's the big thing. He's actually trying on the defensive end, and they don't need Kyrie. It's they if it was just James and Kevin, that would still be enough. Kyrie is batshit crazy.
Another thing I did notice too.
Really feel.
I did see that I think it was the Oklahoma City Thunder have about 34 picks
34.
over the next 7 years.
They have 17 first round picks and 17 second round picks in the next 7 years.
That's insane. And just to make sure all the people know this, we had Jason become Warriors GM earlier today, and I asked him if he was willing. I was the Thunder GM, and I asked him if he would be willing to give me Steph Curry for all of those picks. And Jason said that was a no from him. So
that's why he's not the GM.
Warrior fans, let us know. Do you think he wasn't making the smart decision? That's 34 picks for one dude. I'm just kidding. I know.
Good talent, though.
Trust me, I know how good Steph Curry is. I don't have to watch the Warriors to know how good and how special of a player Steph Curry is. But,
all you have to do is just look at the top 10 of every draft and count how many busts there are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I feel like in basketball it seems to happen a lot more often than people kind of
because there's way less roster spots. There's only 12 to 14 roster spots on a team. That might even be killing it. I think 12 is the most. So the odds of a player after the first 4 picks of actually producing is slim to none, and then the odds of finding a second rounder who actually becomes a Draymond Green or becomes a Kawhi Leonard, that's once a decade, maybe twice.
Well, speaking of Draymond Green, what do you guys think about his most recent comment about he's the best defensive player in the league?
Actually, no, he said he's the best defensive player of all time, and he is also batshit crazy.
Okay, I apologize. Thank you for correcting that. So John, you think he's batshit crazy?
I mean, it's Draymond,
Yeah.
But we all know that Draymond. I mean, you have to have that, man. It's a mindset, but at the same time, maybe don't put it out there. They get in your head.
I think that's kind of
say it.
I think that's kind of true in any sport. I think as a professional athlete, no matter what the sport, I think you have to have a mindset hey, I'm the best there is. That's kind of mindset you have.
Keep that as a mindset.
Yeah,
if you have to say it ain't
for
true.
Sure. There's a difference. I mean, you don't need to go out there flaunting it and saying it, but in your own head. I mean, I think to get yourself not only in a professional sport, but to stay there. I think it's important to have that strong mindset. Hey, I belong here.
Do me a favor though. The next game, watch Draymond Green play defense. Just watch him. Don't watch the ball. Just watch him play defense. Not many people can guard 1 through 5 like he does.
No.
Nobody.
He's
the
still
quarterback.
He's still an elite defender. It's pretty insane to think because his last 2 seasons he didn't show that, but this season he's back to being his all NBA defensive. He should. Hopefully they see it, but if you're gonna say of all time, like I don't know.
I mean, you got all time.
That's a reach.
You got Scottie Pippins. There's
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. But
I remember Dennis Rodman. Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
he was okay. He was all right.
He played in the PGA, right?
Oh my god. Next.
Okay.
Next.
All right. Well, before we switch topics, does anybody have any NBA bets you want to give out to the people? Anything for anybody? No.
All the money on the Knicks.
Nope.
How about
I have one tomorrow. Portland. I have one tomorrow. Portland -11 against the Magic. They're gonna win by 20 plus. Because I don't know if you saw what the Magic did today, but they got rid of everyone. Nikolai Vucic, bye. Aaron Gordon, bye. Evan Fournier, bye. Terrence Ross. Oh, I guess you're the captain now. I'm sorry. You're stuck in Orlando.
All right. That's good. I like it. All right. Okay. Guys, I don't know if you know this, but we are a week away from opening day. There's going to be crowds in the stands for this. It's hard to, if you remember all of baseball last year, there was not any fans in any ballpark. All right. Shut him off. Run that guy. Run him. But we'll get into some baseball. Like I said, we're 1 week away, opening day. The A's, they open up against the Houston Astros at the Coliseum. 7:07 is the first pitch, and now we officially know the pitching matchup. It's Zach Greinke.
That's a fastball.
It's Zach Greinke versus Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett was named the Oakland A's opening day starter, and right off the bat, I just feel like it's so well deserved for Chris. I think it was just a couple of years ago, Chris Bassett was kind of like this starter who was kind of on the bubble. He was kind of like that maybe fifth guy. Yeah, maybe like that fifth guy, sixth guy of that rotation. And he was kind of like only getting an opportunity when a guy would go down. He'd come in, maybe get a couple starts. He pitched okay, but then he'd get moved to the bullpen as a inning eater kind of guy. But he's always been very vocal about, hey, you know what, wherever this team needs me, throw me, I'll be there. And that's something I've always liked about Chris. And he had great numbers last year. He pitched a hell of a game in that wildcard game against the White Sox. And he's pitched good in spring training. His numbers have been good. Like I said, I just think it's very well deserved. And I'm excited to see him, get that number one start. Diving a little bit in that spring training, there's been some guys that have been good. Matt Olson, man, that guy has been stellar all spring training. I don't know if you want to go too much into spring training stats. I know I don't like to look into a team's record. I actually would prefer that the A's are closer to 500 in spring training. I just want to see the guys that who are going to be on this team do well, don't get hurt. That's what it's all about. But Matt Olson, I think I think a lot of people are expecting big things from him. MLB had predictions that he was going to be in the top 6 of a possible home run king this year. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen per se. I just really would like to see. I know Olson had said he made some adjustments to his stance to hope it get quicker because he has that crazy batting stance with that bat so far across, but man, when he gets that bat across and he connects, man, it is poetry in motion with the way he makes contact with those balls. But yeah, so Matt Olson has been stellar. And Chad Pinder's another guy. He really struggled at the beginning, but man, that guy has been on an absolute tear at spring training somehow. Big Chad Pinder fan. The guy can play everywhere. And it just, you want to see that guy get in the lineup as much as possible and stuff like that. And then another kid, there's Kai Tom. I'm not gonna lie, I did not know much about this kid up until I seen him in spring training. Doesn't have a whole lot of numbers, but he's been good. very interested to see if he makes the team. I know the A's have a lot of outfielders that got decisions to make. I know there's a possibility whether or not Steven Piscotty is even going to make the opening day roster. Tony Kemp is another option they could throw out in the outfield if need him to. And then we got good old Jed Lowry on the team. Whether or not he's going to make it or not, I know he's kind of making a push. He hit a home run today. So we'll see if Jed Lowry is going to make the team. Without a doubt, the A's had some definitely key losses this year. Marcus Semien, he signed the 1-year deal with the Blue Jays. Liam Hendriks absolutely cashed in with the White Sox, getting a stellar contract. They traded KD away. And Robbie Grossman, I think Robbie Grossman is a guy I think you have to mention that the A's lost. I think he was, he's not a big name guy, but he was a very good defensive left fielder for the A's. And I think last year he was definitely good for them. So I think that's the guy. I know he signed with Detroit. And I think, after those guys had left, we were like, oh man, here we go. The A's are getting ready to suck. They're about to give it away. But man, they did an impressive job to kind of replace those guys. I mentioned they traded KD to Texas. They got back Elvis Andrus and some cash. Semien, I'm not sure how you guys felt. I think, Semien had that MVP year a couple years ago. He was in the top 3. Great leadoff man. He absolutely turned his defensive game around. I mean, when he was beginning, that guy was making errors left and right. It was ridiculous. You'd almost want to bet.
Worst defender in the league when he came in.
You'd almost want to bet he'd make an error every game, and you probably would have cashed out quite a bit if you did so. But he really turned his game around. But last year he look, I'm not saying he was not a key. You've heard A's players say that he was a leader, if not the leader on this team. So I'm not gonna, sell him short. But I think Andrus is a guy that could, not necessarily, fill the shoes that Semien, left behind. But I think Andrus can plug in well. Andrus has been very vocal of how excited he wants to be on the A's. He can't wait to, play at the Coliseum and have the fans on his side. And I like to see that. I like to see guys come here and say those things and want to be there. And then you look at the closer situation. The A's couldn't bring anybody in that was going to, make you forget about Liam Hendriks, because we all know the story of Liam Hendriks. That guy was DFA'd. And he was the opener in the wild card game against the Yankees a couple years ago, and I just remember him giving up that bomb to Aaron Judge. That guy's came a long way, and like I said, he cashed in big with the White Sox. It's good for him. But Trevor Rosenthal, they got him. He was dealt to the Padres last year at the deadline, and he had good numbers. I'm excited to see. And like I said, I you're not going to fill Hendricks' shoes, and I don't think you need him to. You don't need him to be amazing. You just need him to be good. And I think Rosenthal absolutely has that ability to come in here and be that role and be a good closer for this team. Looking at Mitch Moreland, Mitchie Two Bags. That one was, I like that one a lot. I think you look at him and I think he is the replacement for KD. KD, I think it's hard to not say that as soon as that guy signed an extension, that guy was a completely different player. He looked lost at times, and there was just sometimes there was at bats where he was flailing up there, and it was like you had no chance. He did have, a good playoffs with the team last year. He hit some bombs in that Houston series. He hit the one against the White Sox. And he loves playing in Texas. He loves playing there. Same thing with Moreland when it comes to Oakland. He hits home runs against the A's. If anything, you should at least be happy the A's will not be facing Mitch Moreland. So I'd love to see him. He's another big left-handed bat. I think he will do a very good job of replacing KD, and I think that he makes our lineup more dangerous for sure. And then you also added Sergio Romo, which, he's an older guy. He's another guy got in the bullpen. Another guy they did lose Joaquin Soria. He signed with the Diamondbacks, I believe. But Romo, he's pumped up. He wants to be here too. And like I said, I'm a fan of guys that make it vocal that they want to be here. They want to win. And he said that, he wanted to go someplace that he felt like he could win. And he felt like it's in Oakland. And I would agree. I think this team is in a great position to compete, and they could do some damage this year for sure.
Romo's also closed for a little while in Miami. So, say Rosenthal does go down, he is another option.
Yeah, and then I'll talk about Diekman too. Diekman's another guy. The only thing that scares me with Diekman is that when he does not have control, he is wild. And
he's really erratic.
Yeah, and I mean he has a very funky pitching style. It's very hard to track the ball, I think, come out of his hand, which is good. He's a left-handed guy, and it'll be interesting. I mean, yeah, he's a guy that I think might get the call if Rosenthal goes down first, but it could all just depend how he's going. I don't think Diekman's given up an earned run in spring training too, so that's another thing to think about. But I think just looking at this team in general, what you can expect. I think you can expect both the Mats, Chapman and Olsen. They're probably both going to be competing for Gold Gloves again this year. And I want to just put it on record now. You can mark the tape, whatever you want to do. One of them for sure is winning a Gold Glove this year, whether it be Chapman, whether it be Olsen. One of them is for sure winning a Gold Glove. So
Olsen.
The A's are going to have at minimum 3 Gold Glove winners this year.
Who's the third?
He's going 3.
Who's going?
Either Sean Murphy.
Really?
Sean Murphy.
He is still on Sean Murphy's. Like, oh my god.
I know. I was. Yeah. I'm not totally against that. I think Sean Murphy.
Sean
This
Murphy
is a big year. This is a big year for him.
Sean Murphy's already one of the best defensive catchers in the league. He just needs to get better at hitting. He strikes out way too much, but he has pop. I mean, the whole
A's team does, though. The whole A's team does. The whole A's team strikes out so many times.
That's their MO.
He has potential to 15 to 20 home runs. As long as he stays healthy, because we've seen his pop, like even in spring training, we've seen his pop. But he's already a really good defensive catcher. And it's really good because say Diekman is, erratic, or Romo throws in the dirt, or we need that kind of catcher who can block the pitches and who can get out base stealers, because I know we didn't have that for a while.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a big year.
For a while, we had catchers who couldn't throw anyone out.
Yeah, and I think this is definitely a big year for Murphy. I think we're going to see some things from him, and I think he's really going to take a big step in establishing himself at this pro level for sure. Another thing too, I mean, how do you guys think this rotation is going to play out? Obviously, we know Bassett's going to pitch opening day. Thinking maybe they might go Luzardo, Minaya in the 2-3, either direction. I know Montas got pulled from his start today. He had a torn cuticle on, I think, his pitching middle finger. Haven't heard that injury before. Not saying it's never happened, but never heard that before. So whether or not, I'm not sure exactly if he's going to be ready or not for when things go. Dalton Jeffries is a guy who's pitched pretty well this spring training. I think that's a guy that we're going to see probably start in that 5th spot. Cole Irvin is another guy that's pitched pretty well, depending on, because I know Mike Fiers, he did throw a bullpen today. His next step's going to face hitters, but he's not going to be ready by the time the season starts. He's got a little ways to go. So I don't know how do you guys think this rotation is going to follow Bassett?
Go Jay.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think this rotation could be better than average, and even I think you have a future Cy Young candidate in Jesus Luzardo. I mean, as long as he stays healthy, I see that he ditched the glasses this year and he's going with contacts. Maybe that will play a difference. His stuff is electric.
Slider.
Yeah, Manaya's very solid as well. I think this pitching rotation is going to lead them to the division title. I think they will, between the pitching staff as a whole, from the starters all the way down to the bullpen, I think their pitching will do their job and they'll win the division title.
Yeah, the only problem with Minaya is he does not have a fastball anymore. So if his slider and changeup are not working, he's gonna get hit around. So I would rather see him towards the back of the rotation, like going at the 4 instead of the 3. Go do Bassett, Luzardo, and then what am I blanking on? Montas, if he's ready, but like do Montas and then do Minaya. Give Minaya a little bit farther back in the rotation, and then Dalton Jeffries. I feel like he's a lock for the 5 right now. So at least start. Ben, don't start. You guys have no pitching.
Have we ever?
But another thing that we haven't even touched on at all is AJ Puck. That's another guy. I think all signs point that he's probably going to come out of the bullpen. I mean, that guy, injury after injury. It's going to be tough. I don't know, but that's another guy. I mean, I don't think he's pitched all too well in the little bit he's pitched in spring training. But yeah, so yeah, I think he'll probably make the team to start things out. Probably start in the bullpen. We'll see how things go. I mean, we gotta see how long Fires is going to be out and stuff like that.
I feel like with Puck, he has to make the team. Like he has to start the season at least on the A's, just because it's getting to that point where do we have something with this guy, or is he just injury prone and we need to move him? Because it's getting to the point where it's just too many injuries. It's unfortunate because I feel like he's got a lot of potential, but it's
can't stay healthy. Then you're not.
Yeah. Has he even started a game or even gone far in a game? It seems like all he does is bullpen, and he can't even stay healthy just doing bullpen.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we got talked about some A's. Let's move it down to Southern California. You got a little Angels to talk about.
Ooh, the Dodgers?
Not quite.
Shut your mouth.
Not quite.
Oh, the Padres. The Padres, right?
Speaking of, before we get into the Angels, Cahoon, I have a little bet for you.
Okay.
I will bet you
action
with a Chipotle burrito and chips and queso or salsa, because I know you don't like queso, that Murphy will not get a Gold Glove this year.
Okay, so we're just betting Chipotle on it. A regular Chipotle then.
We're betting a Chipotle burrito and some chips and salsa.
Queso.
And queso.
Okay, fine. Whatever. It's just Chipotle. What's $11?
That's $11 coming to me. Oh, I can already taste that burrito. But yeah, speaking of the Angels, just unfortunately, John, you are correct. The pitching is just awful. Don't have much to really talk about, really, more than what there was last year of just, will Trout be wasted for another year? Is Ohtani going to stay healthy this year? I mean, those are two big concerns for me. I'm looking at the rotation, and it's just nothing too great. There's nothing. Bundy's their ace. Like that's what we get to highlight. Bundy is our ace. Woohoo!
We suck again.
I mean, I'm very, very disappointed in the offseason. I think they could have done a lot more. I do like that they have Rendon at third. They've still got him on that 7-year, $245 million contract. So that kind of money in baseball, he better be worth it for us, because they need some good defensive help with the pitching. I'm probably going to give up a lot of hits. My biggest prediction though is Heaney is going to have a good year. I think it's finally due. Just a couple days ago, he pitched in the spring training, had like 8 or 9 strikeouts. He was looking pretty solid. So I'm hoping, and unfortunately, this is gonna fall right into Craig's lap, but my guy Suzuki, when he gets to play, I feel like he may have a good season here when he gets to play and have a chance. And of course, the biggest highlight though is Pujols' final year, and then it looks like he's going to hang him up. But I mean, it was fun while it lasted. But I honestly, I could say for the Angels franchise, just good riddance. He's past his prime now. It's a waste. It's a waste of a roster spot. I don't care what position you play, first base, left out, whatever. I don't care. Just save the money. And with Upton, never been a big fan of that guy. I don't know if it's MLB The Show or what, and he's just terrible. He's always disappointed me. Always disappointed me. And so I have a low expectation. I'm hoping for them to start out their season against the Chicago White Sox for a 4-game opener. I'm hoping that they'll split 500.
Bad draw. It's a really bad draw to start off the year.
I'm
Good luck there.
gonna say that they're probably gonna be lucky to sneak out 1 win, but after that, then they have a 2-game series against the Trastros, and I'm hoping that they could just take care of business. But unfortunately, I just don't see the offensive firepower this year. So I think that again, they'll be lucky to get a win. They're gonna start off the season really rocky. So there's not going to be too much to really report. with them because I feel like they're going to have their work cut out for them again. And unfortunately, it's going to be another not so great Angels in the outfield year.
So the Angels do have nice little click. The Angels do have offense this year. It's all going to come down to the pitching because
Exactly.
they do not Bundy was good for what first half of the season last year. Heaney, solid lefty, but his ERA and he strikes out people. That's it.
Yep.
Strikes out people, gives up runs.
Yep.
I don't know what Otani's doing. I don't know if Otani's still pitching or what he's doing. But yeah, when it comes, but your guys, the Angels have Trout, they have Rendon, Jared Walsh, really good power hitter, played first baseman. They still got Fletcher, and then we'll see. Joe Adell was supposed to be this top prospect, and God, was he a disappointment at the end of last year when he did get called up. So there's a lot of promise for the Angels in the when it comes to the offensive side. So all it's going to be come down to is pitching, whether or not they can compete in the West.
But as you guys know, and this is not a true dig at you guys, you know how critical pitching can make or break games.
Mm-hmm.
For you guys in wild cards alone, you know that like, and so that's why it comes down to pitching for them
for sure.
And it's gonna hurt them. It's gonna hurt them. And and this has been the problem for years. And they aren't going to change unless they have to get rid of everyone and start all over again. I mean, that's what it's got to come down to. And they're not going to do it. So they're going to make a small, minimal change and say, voila, we've done it. We have made the right recipe.
Well, yeah, they'll be certainly excited. Oh, sorry, go ahead, John.
I was like, just remember, you were going to get Trevor Bauer. You were going to get Trevor Bauer. You were going to get Trevor Bauer.
There was that hashtag on Twitter that was going on. I was like, Bauer to Anaheim, or whatever, right?
Oh, right. Hey, look. Hey, guys, Trevor Bauer went to Los Angeles. Oh, the Angels? Oh, no, the Dodgers.
Hey, he knew where a winning team was. So, I mean, you got to give it to him. But
hey, you know what?
He just chased that grain.
But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to, as we keep doing these shows, we're going to keep updating and see exactly where these teams are. And we'll start looking at how some of these players turn out. Guys, how about we want to get to some division predictions? Let's go through these divisions. Let's see who we got winners for.
Sure. Let's hear Ben first.
All right. Well, Ben, which division would you like to start out with? We will let you lead the way on this one.
I'm not going to go genuinely by the division name. I am just going to read off my picks. Period.
Well, hold on. Let's do one division. You'll just give me one team for which division. Okay. We'll go through that division. We'll go around and then we'll go to the next division. On and so on.
I am picking the Padres to win their division.
Bold. All right, Jason.
That's a bold prediction.
What do you like? What do you like in the NL West?
The Dodgers.
Dodgers. Okay.
Get out of here,
John. Dodgers. Yeah, I'm in the same church, same pew with those two guys. Look, the Padres, they're great. I would love to see them in that division, but I mean, you give me Clevenger. You give me Clevenger.
Rotation?
Exactly. You give it to Padres, Clevenger. Maybe it's more interesting, but you know what? Division wise, I gotta go. I'm sorry, not Padres. I gotta go Dodgers as well.
It's so funny that I'm gonna watch you three fail completely at this pick. So
just make sure you make a note of all these. Well, I keep receipts. All right, I keep receipts.
My next pick would be Cincinnati.
Okay, NL Central taking the Reds. That's a bold prediction. All right. Anyways, go ahead, Jason. What do you got for the NL Central?
I'm gonna take the Brew Crew.
Ooh, all right, yeah, Milwaukee.
Yep.
Okay, John. What about you?
For I don't know how many more divisions I'm going to do this, but I agree with Ben. I do actually really like the Reds to win the division this year. Their offense is stacked, and Sonny Gray coming off a really good season last year. I can definitely see the Reds, even with losing Trevor Bauer, win that division.
All right. You know, I'm going to go a little different from all you guys here, and I'm not going to lie to you.
He's going to say Pirates.
I did very, very little content reading into this. I'm just going to say two words: Nolan Arenado. Give me the Cardinals. Book it down.
He's not in Coors anymore.
He's not at Coors.
I don't care. It's Nolan Arenado. Let's move on. Go to the next division, Ben. Leave us there.
This guy does not like winning. I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Braves.
All right, Atlanta Braves.
Sure.
Jason, what do you like? Who do you like in the NL East?
I'm gonna agree with Ben and take the Atlanta Braves.
Boom.
Okay, John, are you following suit?
I'm actually not following suit, and Ben brought up the New York Knicks, and no, they're not good at all. But the New York Mets, they have the best pitcher in the league, and now they just got Francisco Lindor. I think Pete Alonso, off a bad sophomore season, is going to come back to this 40 home run hitter. They got McNeil, really solid leadoff hitter. I can see the Mets finally making it back to the playoffs this year, winning the division.
I really like the way you're thinking on that one. This is a tough one for me. I think this could go either way. I'm going to give the Braves a little bit of the edge, though. They did keep Marcell Ozuna, so they got works there. But I agree. I like the Mets. They made some great moves. They got Francisco Lindor, Dylan Betances, and Trevor May. Those are two guys in the bullpen that I think could make an impact for them for sure. Yeah, we're going to need to see that bounce back from Pete Alonso. That's a big player for that team. And they also got Joey Lucchesi. I mean, come on. They got Joey Lucchesi, guys. This is a big deal. So, but anyways, like I said, I think this could go either way. I'm going to give the Braves the edge, but I won't be too surprised if the Mets maybe pull it out. One of those teams is probably making the wild card, though, if whoever doesn't win that division. Go on, Ben. Let's go to the American League.
I'm going to say the Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay Rays. All right. AL East. Jay, what do you like?
As much as it pains me to say this, the New York Yankees.
Get the fuck out.
There's the first cuss word. We knew it was gonna be bad.
Bingo. John, what about you? Who do you like? Do you think you got the Rays, you got the Yankees, or you got somebody else?
I'm gonna be going down to Florida, but it's not for the team. It's gonna be for the team that, yeah. The Toronto Blue Jays are going to do it this year. They have such a good young roster. I mean, you got Vlad Guerrero Jr., you got Cavan Biggio. They are going to be, you say the Yankees have a powerhouse at offense. You can put the Blue Jays right up there with them. And I feel like the Blue Jays have a better rotation. I mean, sure, the Yankees have Cole at the start, but Blue Jays, I would say, have a better rotation. It's going to be close, but between those two teams, Rays following third.
Yeah, this one was a little tough too. I know the Rays are the defending American League champions, but man, I got to give the edge to the Bronx Bombers on this one. I mean, it's all health though. I mean, the reality is the Yankees have been dealing with a lot of injuries. There's no question that that's been an issue for them. One thing that did help, they did keep DJ LeMahieu. LeMahieu is becoming a very well-known player and throughout the whole league. And if they stay healthy, that lineup is absolutely deadly. And Garrett Cole, we all know who Garrett Cole is. They also added Corey Kluber. That was a guy that went to the Rangers last year. He pitched a third of an inning, if that. Got hurt, lost the whole season. He's a good pitcher. He's a good guy. I think he can make good. The Rays, they did lose Blake Snell. They gave him to San Diego. They also lost Charlie Morton. I think that's a guy that doesn't get talked about enough. He was a very big pitcher for the Rays. You can almost, I wouldn't necessarily say he was better than Blake Snell, but Charlie Morton was almost just as important, if not as important, as Blake Snell was. They did add Michael Wacha and Rich Hill. I don't think it's going to be enough, though.
Don't forget, they got Chris Archer.
They do have Chris Archer.
Got him back.
Another guy. I don't think the Rays make the playoffs. I think the Blue Jays are going to be the team in second place, and I actually do like the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays are going to probably be the top wild card team, but yeah, give me the Yankees for the division.
Do they? Well, here's the most important question about the Yankees at the end of the day. Do they still have Stanton?
They do still have Stanton, and I think
I will change my pick to the Yankees.
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to move on to the next division.
We're out of time.
We're all out of time.
My next pick will be the White Sox. I think they're gonna do. They got a good team. They're a solid team all the way around. So I think that they'll take care of it this year.
I think the White Sox lap the field in their division. It's not even gonna be close. They'll probably win the division by like 10 games.
All right.
They're stacked.
John, what do you think? I already know you don't like the White Sox, so let's hear it.
No, I really do like the White Sox. It's just every single year, it's Minnesota at the top, and then they get their butts kicked in the first round. So I'm saying it's going to happen again because there's nothing different with the team. They brought back everyone, and I think no matter how good the White Sox are, there'll be a battle between them. But I still think the Twins win the division, and then a first round exit like always.
All right. I'm going to have to follow suit with Jason and Ben on this one. I like the White Sox. I really do. I see what you're saying, John. I get your point and everything. And I see what your point. They kept everybody. The problem is they have an older team, and guys like Josh Donaldson. I mean, what is that guy, like 40 now? I don't know. I don't know how old he is, but not to say the Twins aren't going to be competitive. I think it depends on each other, but yeah, the White Sox are stacked. One thing I think you have to remember, they did get Adam Eaton back. That was a guy they actually traded for Lucas Giolito. So that's a guy they brought back. They also added Lance Lynn. Pitched a pretty good year at the Rangers last year. I'm not sure Lance Lynn is really that great. He kind of reminds me a lot of Bartolo Colon. You know, he was like mostly a fastball pitcher. So I don't really know how long it lasts, but hey, Lance Lynn, he was a guy at the deadline that really thought was going to get moved. He didn't. He's a good guy, and we all know about how they got Liam Hendricks. We know how good he is. Michael Kopech, I think that was a guy that actually opted out last year, one of their young pitchers, who's I believe is going to be playing this season. He'll be something to look out. They did lose Eli Jimenez, one of their outfielders. He tore his pectoral muscle, which I gotta imagine is super painful. He's going to miss like 5 or 6 months. That's like almost the entire regular season. But I still think the White Sox have enough to get in. I think they have a very long playoff run in them as well. But give me the White Sox. They'll win the Central this year.
Is this why John wears black socks all the time? Because he hates White Sox that bad? Or what? Like, I mean, this is a conspiracy theory here, I think. We're starting to trend here.
All right, Ben, how about you just move on to the AL West? Let's get to the last division prediction here.
Black socks with black shoes. Who the hell wears white socks with black shoes? Just
it pains me to say this, but I think that the Oakland Athletics will take their division this year.
Don't act like it pains you. Quit playing. We see through your lies.
Closet fan.
Just I think that they'll take the division with ease this year, and I think they'll handle it.
All right, Jay, what about you?
I don't know if they'll take it with ease, but yes, I think the Oakland A's are going to win a division. It's going
fan you are.
It's going to be them and the Astros probably neck and neck for a while, and then I think the Astros are going to make the wild card. And unfortunately, I don't know how far the A's are going to go. I think top to bottom on paper, they could be a sleeper pick for the World Series, but I think they're definitely going to win the West.
Mm-hmm. John, what about you?
The A's will win the division. There's a lot of turmoil with the Astros. I mean, they lost George Springer. Who knows how long Verlander will be out for? Framber Valdez doesn't look like he's going to miss the whole season like they were worried about, but who knows how long he's out for? Christian Javier's hurt. So there's just too many question marks with the Astros to feel confident. And with the moves that the A's made in February, I feel like they're the pick to win the division.
I think you need to bust the brooms out because we have a clean sweep on this division. I like the A's. I like the A's. There's no secret about this one. I'm with the last two. I don't think it's going to be with ease. The Astros are going to be in it. The Astros, they'll find a way. They did lose George Springer. We have the injuries they got to worry about. They're going to be competitive. The Astros will find a way to be involved. But yeah, I think the A's are hungry, man. I mean, they got to be
the trash bins.
They've got to be extra motivated. I mean, they got a taste of it last year, and I think these guys are really hungry. And I mean, let's be blunt about it. I think a lot of these key players on the A's feel like this could be their last go. It might be their last go while they're in the green and gold. So at least go out with a bang. I think they're hungry. I think they want it, and I think the A's are going to take it.
Nice.
All right. World Series predictions. It's way too early to be doing it, but you never know. Maybe we are on the right track. So maybe a little drum roll before we release this one. Anyone want to go first of who they like? Who they like here for?
Well, we were going with Ben first.
Let's go with Ben
When it comes
all
to
right.
divisions.
Well, Ben, let me cue you up here.
I'm going to say the Oakland Athletics versus the Los Angeles Dodgers.
All right.
Don't ask me who's going to win, though, okay? I have no idea. I'm not a fortune teller.
All right, way to do your homework.
Obviously not.
Jason, you are next, my friend.
I'm taking the Dodgers to repeat over the White Sox.
All right, Dodgers over the White Sox. And here we go. Here's Cohooney's pick.
I'm following suit with Jason. I did not pick them to win the division, but I do have the White Sox making it far, but losing 6 or 7. Maybe they'll get lucky and go to 7 against the Dodgers. But the Dodgers are just. Have you seen that rotation? No, that's just not fair. If you pick them in the
they ain't
show,
gonna stay healthy.
No, they're definitely not the Yankees. That division is the Warriors, like with Durant. Like that's not fair.
All right, I guess we'll close it out with my prediction here. Gonna follow suit with the last two. I think it's gonna be the Dodgers and the White Sox in the World Series. I think the Dodgers are gonna repeat. It'll be exciting to see. This actually has the second best odds of a World Series matchup. The Dodgers and the Yankees are the number one choice right now. But I think it'd probably be the A's and the White Sox in the American League Championship Series. And I think the White Sox are going to outlast them. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how it goes. All right. Before we switch on, before we get on to the Cohooney 5, is any early season, any other bets we want to do? Over unders? I've got a few. We can get that queued up.
I got a few.
All right, Jay, why don't you start us off then?
Going back to the home team, the Oakland A's. The A's are plus 2,800 to win the World Series. So that means for a $100 bet, you can return $2,800 if they win the World Series. Some pretty decent value there. They're also plus 1,000 to win the AL pennant. They're plus 165 to win the AL West. And the Astros are actually the favorite. They're at plus 125, which might be a little surprising.
It's a little bogus to me, but whatever.
Yeah. The future bet the future bet that has like a lot of value for me, it's a long shot, but I don't know. The Brewers are plus 5,000 to win the World Series. And they have a pretty solid team. They could be sneaky good. So something to consider.
Put me down for 200 on the Brewers.
Oh, 10,000. That's it. All right.
John, do you have any baseball bets you want to make?
I don't have any futures that I feel really confident betting in. I'll just go way too early MVP picks. I'm going to go with Mookie Betts for the NL MVP, and let's go out to trying to think of an AL one. Maybe I should probably just stay.
Maybe keep it at 1 for now.
One for now. The AL is just so difficult because I mean you could take maybe someone on the Yankees because of all the home runs, but like they are never going to healthy. They're not healthy, so
yeah.
But I really like Mookie Betts this year to win the NL MVP.
All right, Ben, you got anything?
Not really. I'm gonna just say that I'm gonna just throw it into the hat to stir the pot. But my boy Mike Trout's gonna definitely get MVP. You know, I think that's a high probability for him to do it, and
that's possible. It'll be the only thing his team is probably going to win this year.
Oh so. Yes, of course, and the rest of the team's going to get the participation award, so it's a good year.
All right, I got a few here. The first one, I think this is a slam dunk. The A's over under win total is at 86.5. Guys, they hit 97 wins back in 2018 and 2019. And in a truncated season last year, they were on pace to hit 97 in a regular season. I think this is a no-brainer. I think they're going to win. I'm predicting about a 93-69 record. They win the West.
You would go with
covering, and they getting it. So, and speaking of winning the West, so anyways, that is over. That's a minus 115 for that bet. Slam dunk. Bet it down. Throw it in there. Next one, A's winning the West. It's plus 160. The Astros are the better odds, but yeah, you got to go A's on this one.
In the bag.
Not in the bag, but just I feel pretty good about it. So
out of the bag real quick.
And another one, I know we haven't really talked about them enough, but I'm gonna get the Giants. We're gonna show the rest of the Bay a little bit of love here. The Giants.
They stole Stella.
The Giants.
Yeah.
The thing is about the Giants, I actually like what the Giants did in the offseason. I love LaStella with the A's. I really thought, I mean, with Chapman being hurt at the end of the season last year, I thought LaStella was arguably the best player on this team. And the Giants got a really good player for him. They also added Alex Wood. That's a sneaky good left-handed pitcher over there. Their over-unders at 75.5. I'm gonna bet the over on this one. I don't think they're gonna compete for the division because they got 19 games against the Dodgers and 19 games with the Padres. That's 38 of your 162 against.
They also have the same amount of games against two of the worst teams in the league on the Diamondbacks and the Rockies.
I think the Rockies have been a problem for the Giants over previous years. They don't have Arenado though, so maybe that'll help. But like I said, I don't think the Giants are gonna make noise. I have them at 79 and 83, just under 500. I think that will be a fun team to watch. But yeah, I like the over on 75.5. It's a -130 on that bet. And then just for fun, if you got $5 you just want to spare, I would just do it, even though I don't think it's gonna happen. Just throw like $5 down on like an A's Padres World Series matchup. It's plus 4,500. It's $5. What do you have to lose? And come on, that would be a very fun World Series matchup. A's and Padres.
Yeah,
for sure.
Can I borrow $5, Greg?
Jason, you got me right.
I only have once, so yeah, I'll take care of it.
All right, that's it for the MLB preview. Cohooney has his own. It is called the Cohooney 5. Cohooney, do you want a sounder underneath it? You want to just take this all on your own?
Oh, I want a sounder just because I want to know what kind of sound are you going to put under my segment?
Well, I mean, it was just going to continue with what I got going. So, I mean, I might throw.
I thought you picked out something like hella funny or something like that. When you asked that,
just go.
I thought.
The floor is yours. The floor is yours.
We're running out of time.
So. Oh, shut up, Jason.
Run it.
All right, so for my 5, it's gonna be for UFC 260 this Saturday. I have 5 fighters that I really like in a parlay. First off is gonna be Stipe Miocic. He's defending his heavyweight title, and he's plus money. Anytime you get a champion who's plus money, that doesn't happen very often. Francis Ngannou is really good, but Miocic won the first fight and pretty soundly, so I don't get the plus money. So put him down. My second fighter is Miranda Maverick. She's facing off against Jillian Robertson. Maverick looked really good in her last fight. I feel like she's the favorite to win this fight, and I think she's really going to win this one. The next one's Sean O'Malley. That's a slam dunk. If that makes it out of the first round, I'll be shocked. He's fighting someone who hasn't won since 2016. The next one's Kama Worthy. He was a favorite against Ahmed Azati and lost in the first round pretty quickly, but Azarti is one of the best up-and-coming prospects. And Kama Worthy, it's just his first fight since that fight, and he's going to want to come out, and he's going to take this one. Then the last one is my long shot. It's Tyron Woodley. He's the biggest underdog out of these 5. Not the biggest underdog on the card, but he's a good like plus 270. If you want to just one long shot, it's gonna be Woodley. He's lost his last 3 fights, but those are also against 3 of the best middleweights in the division, and I think there's a chance that he can knock the guy out. I don't think he wins a decision, but there is a shot that he does get a knockout. So those are my 5 Cohooney 5s for UFC 260 this Saturday.
Nice.
All right. I like it. We got a little UFC in there. I don't think some of the fans probably saw that one coming. But yeah, we're here to cover it. We're here to cover all those things. Just when you think you're not going to cover it, we hit you with that stuff. So
give us a few weeks and we'll be covering professional team handball.
Hey, you never know. You got to stay tuned.
You need to figure out.
All right. Next segment.
Figure out what PGA is first.
All right. Before we get ready to close on out of here, we have a little segment. It's going to be a little fun segment we're going to try out. It's called Hit It or Quit It. Basically, what we're going to do is we got a few questions. We're going to go around and we're going to decide whether or not we're hitting it or are we quitting it. This is another thing we want to hear from you guys. If you have any questions, anything like that, feel free to hit us on the YouTube channel, hit us on the socials, ask any questions. You never know. We may just use your question on a future Hit It or Quit It segment. So Jason, why don't you start us off? I believe you got a couple, including a bonus question possibly. So Jay, go ahead and kick us off here.
All right, I'll save the bonus question for last, but
got to.
Curry and Clay roughly have 3 to 4 prime years left. So you hitting or quitting it that they win another title in those 3 to 4 years?
Ooh. I'll start this. I'm gonna start this one. I'm hitting it. I think they definitely could. Look, Steph and Clay. I think the one thing with Clay is worrisome is that he just came off of 2 devastating leg injuries, and they're to both different legs, right? There are different legs on those. It's scary, but the thing is that they have a potential. I mean, you got to remember they still have the T-Wolves pick for next year, the number 4 pick, possibly. And depending how they place, I mean, they can have 2 top picks. I think it's very possible that this team is right in the thick of things after next year. So I'm hitting it. I think they have a good chance of in these next 3-4 years. They're not, Warriors are not going to want to waste any of the prime years that Curry has left. They're going to go for it. I'm hitting it.
John?
No, Ben, you go first. I want to hear this.
All right. Well, here we go. Let's put my basketball knowledge back on this bad boy. I am going to say quitting it. I think that it's just I think that those 3 years it's just not going to be enough. Unless something drastically miraculous happens where they're able to get back players caliber like Durant or another type of Thompson, good shooter, good two-way player. Like they have to get lucky and be able to pull those players over. They're not going to be able to do it with what they already have. And so I don't think it's going to happen. And I also, unfortunately, I hope it doesn't happen, but I think it's going to. I think that or Curry, but I think that Clay will be more likely to get injured again. That will then set him back again. And I see another significant injury happening, which will then again hurt the team. So I'm going to say quitting it.
All right, John.
I'm going to hit it. So the Wolves pick that you were talking about for next season is not protected. So with the Wolves being as a lottery team, if they win in the lottery and get a top 3 pick, they don't get the pick next year. It goes to the year after, which then it's unprotected. But yeah, they're going to get Clay back next year. He's looking really good in his rehab. I don't know if you guys have been seeing it, but there's pictures or videos of him hitting like 12 straight 3-pointers. There's videos of him canoeing the bay. So like he's looking really good in his rehab process. So it's going to be slow and steady, but like Jason, you said what, 3-4 years of prime?
3 to 4
and
years prime.
Have you seen what Curry's numbers are? I feel like they could definitely hit it. They have a chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys. I think they have one more title in them. Question number 2. Will Jimmy G be the starting quarterback for the Niners in week 1? Are you hitting it or are you quitting it?
All right, guys. I gotta step away for just a quick sec to go plug my computer in, but I do want to hear what you guys said. My bad.
I'm sorry, folks. If you are still with us after this hour and a half plus, we are having a little technical difficulties. This will be pretty normal when it comes to Cohooney tunes. This is the guy that could make a solar-powered car run out of battery in the Arizona desert. So just FYI.
I say he's an idiot.
If I would have known this was gonna happen, I would have planned for a commercial break or somewhere, and I would have thrown our sponsors.
Right?
Our sponsor,
right? Sponsor, Rockstar.
We owe a huge apology. We owe it a huge apology. Oh, if we're gonna we'll just go White Claw. If we're going all the way, all right.
No laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Was that really a soundbite for White Claw?
No, I think it was outside. I don't know. I think there was a bird or something.
That's it.
I told Craig that was gonna happen too. I had
soundbite revoked, sir. You were off.
Hey, excuse me. Going back to the question, John. We'll start. John, since you were on delay a game, you get to go first. Are you hitting or quitting it?
I'm hitting it. He's not a good quarterback. He's not their future, but what better options do they have? They're not going to be able to draft anyone. There's even if they do draft someone at that, they're not going to be ready by week 1, even with the 4 games of preseason. So yeah, unfortunately, even though I know Jimmy G is not their future, he still will be their starter of week 1.
Yeah, I'm in same church, same pew with that one. I think Jimmy G, I'm hitting it. He's gonna be the week 1 starter. I don't really think Jimmy G is a bad quarterback. Is he elite? No, he's not an elite quarterback. It's the injuries. It's whether or not he can stay healthy or not, because I don't know his record by him, but I know when he is the starting quarterback, the Niners are a winning football team. So I know there's better options out there. I just don't know if the Niners are really going to be able to access anything else other than Jimmy G. I think you got to ride it out with him. I'm hitting it. I think Jimmy G will be the starter week 1.
I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. I just because if it was by the end of the season, I would say no. There's a good chance he'll be gone. But week 1, yeah, he'll be the week 1 quarterback. There's not very many other options that they can go for right now. I know the Patriots are in talks of trying to get him and all that stuff. Of course, it's like one of the 50 different rumors going on around that guy. But I see him being their starter for game 1.
Jay, what about you? Are you going to be following suit here, or you think you're going to be the one person who thinks Jimmy G will not be?
Buffering.
Before these accusations came out, I thought the Niners would have probably put a good chance at Deshaun Watson. But I don't think so now. So I'm going to hit it and say Jimmy G will be the quarterback week 1.
All right. Before we get to the, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna move on to the next question. I have my one question, that way I'm participating a little bit now. But so Mike, one question I have for you guys, because I know some Sharks feel this way. Do you guys feel the Sharks are quote unquote unwatchable? Are you hitting it or quitting it here? Ben, I'm gonna start with you. Prepared. So prepared.
That one's is like really tough because I feel like they are watchable, just because they have glimpses of good hockey, so there's still that little light there. But then they get into those streaks, especially at least early on, where it's just like little league hockey looking thing. It's like you're like, what are you doing? But now they've cleaned it up. They're kind of getting into their winning ways. I think they're watchable now, especially because they're in the hunt against the Blues. So why now is the time to watch them? And I think that had you asked me a month ago, no. Now
you'd be hitting it, but now you're quitting it. So
yeah. So
all right, Jason, what about you?
I'll hit it. I think they are watchable.
No, I think that would be you're quitting it. If you think they're watchable, sorry. You're hitting it.
Yeah, I'm quitting it.
I got you.
The only thing I want to see them play the younger players. I want to see maybe they call Berkeley to play defense. Let's see what they have. They're not going to be a playoff team, so let's see the young guys. Yeah, I'm going to quit it.
John?
So we're it's hit on that they are sorry, hold on. Is it hit if they are unwatchable or watchable? It's the way you worded it.
Oh, bro.
It's you hit it if you think they're unwatchable, and quit it.
So quit it because they are still watchable. I mean, they still have Hurdle, they still have Couture, they still have Kane, they still got Burns. Like you can watch and still enjoy the stars. But do I understand if you say I don't want to watch they're not a playoff team? Then yeah, I understand. Like they're not fun to watch, but they're still watchable. Like yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna follow suit. I'm quitting that idea. The Sharks, they're still competitive. I mean, yeah, they've had some bad games, but I mean, like I said earlier, I'm still watching these guys every game. And, maybe I don't feel as confident that they're going to come out with victories, as often as I wish they would. I'm still watching them go out and compete. And I'm with you, Jay. I think, you want to see some of these younger guys get more time and, get a little more acquainted to this league and just get an idea of like what the Sharks look forward to. I think you can see why I guess some people would think it'd be hard to watch, because they're paying a lot of guys to be stars and they're not consistent enough. So I understand the frustration. But like I said, I'm quitting. I'm watching this team. I mean, if they're getting beat up, 6-0 in the third period, and there's something else better on TV in the third period, yeah, I might go switch a channel. I might go watch it and be like, I watched that whole game. They got beat up, whatever. But overall, I'm quitting that idea. So we got one more question. It's the bonus question, Jay. Lay it on.
I got one.
My bad. John's ready to go. John, all right.
Cohooney out of left field.
No. Okay, so I'm blanking. Doug Wilson's the GM's name of the Sharks, right?
You're right. Correct.
Okay, so many people are saying with how bad the Sharks are playing this year, Doug Wilson is on the chopping block, and that after the season he will be let go. Do you hit or quit that idea?
That's really, really tough. Man, I'm on the border with this one. I think I'm gonna go quitting it. I think Doug might be on a tight rope, but I think he might get away with the fact that the season is what it is. It's a shortened season with COVID and everything going on. He might get that, like, all right, you know what? It was a weird year, all that weird stuff. You'll get a pass one more year, but you never know even with that being the case, if that is true, if they get off to a really crappy start next season, he might get let go before the end of the year. It may just be one of those things. They blow it up right then and there. They'd be like, all right, we gave you that time. It's not looking good. You're gone. So as of right now, I'm quitting it.
Jay?
Ben?
I'm going to quit it. I think he's going to get a pass, like Craig said, for the last 2 years. However, saying that next year, if the full season and they're not a playoff team, I would be shocked if he's still the GM.
I would have to agree. I'm going to quit it just because, shortened season, it kind of gives a lot of teams little passes on certain players, coaches, GMs. I think that especially Doug Wilson's situation, they have built a good team, but it is an oddball year, even though the guys are mostly healthy. But COVID has made players have to insert, and come out of the lineup constantly. And so again, that's just like if they were injured. And so I think that buys him a little window. But I would say that I'll get a little bit more in depth on what Jason said. I think that if they don't make the playoffs or they're out in the second round, he's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also quit it only because it's COVID, shortened season. I feel like if it was just a regular season, all 82 games, and this is how bad they played, I think he's done. It's gotten to the point, like, all the bad contracts on that team, and
enough is enough.
Yeah,
enough is enough. And I would not be shocked if he is let go, even with COVID.
Okay,
possible. All right, Jake. Bonus question. We got to wrap this thing up. We got to get to the end of this scenario.
We'll make this quick. Bonus question is: will the A's be playing in a new stadium by 2025?
Oh my god.
I'll start that off. I'm gonna say quit it, because I don't feel like there's enough time to get all the stuff that goes into making a stadium, and it's not all it takes 3 years to build a stadium, and then all the permits and stuff. Like how long did it take for them to like they were supposed to Alameda, everything was all good and go, and then they signed a petition to not have it happen. It's like every time it looks like they got stuff going, somebody signs a petition and it gets flocked down. So I want them to get a new stadium, because if they don't get a new stadium, they're leaving Oakland, and it would really be unfortunate to lose the A's. But it's just that I feel like that's 4 years from now. I think that's too short of a time period.
Ben, what about you?
I'd have to agree. It's too long. Even with the like, you could see it with the Raiders, how badly they wanted that team in Vegas, and how quickly they built that giant stadium. It still took a long time.
Giant spaceship they got over there.
Right? Mm-hmm. The Death Star.
Yeah, there it is.
They even were behind because of delays. It was like, it's just construction 101. There's delays. it's too soon, especially in Oakland. They're not going to make that a top priority.
Yeah.
There's not enough funding going there. It would be a lackadaisical job. It would take at least till 2027, I would say, for them to actually, if they were to just get on that. I would say 2027 at the earliest.
Yeah, I am going to have to say same ballpark, same section. Yeah, with that one. I'm following suit with that one. I'm gonna follow suit. I'm following suit.
God.
I'd absolutely love for them to have a stadium, but I've been one of those guys that, after all this talk of like, hey man, did you hear about the A's, man, making all the strides? Like, I like what Dave Cavill's doing. I think he's probably the right guy for the A's. But man, there's just so much. And just like you guys were mentioning, Oakland is not going to make it a priority. And I mean, I'm not here to say like they're going to move. They're going to Vegas. They're going to Portland, whatever it is. I don't want to go that far quite yet. But I am one of those guys that until I see shovels in the ground, I don't have much faith that there's going to be a stadium in Oakland, which really, it sucks. It really does. But yeah, so unfortunately, I think with the question, I guess I'd be quitting it, I believe, based on the question. So I'm quitting it. But yeah, Jay, go ahead and wrap this up with your answer.
I'm going to quit it, but Cohoon beat me to the punch. I left the Oakland out of Oakland A's because my gut tells me if something's not built by 2025, 2026, I think they're gone. And as sad as it sounds, I mean, the Warriors had their own plans to go to city. Vegas, Oakland Raiders moved to Vegas. They really wanted to go there. I just don't see the city of Oakland trying to help the A's out or give any public money to help build a stadium. So if it's not built by 2025, I think it's very likely the A's are out of town. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that'd be very crappy, but it's a realistic option. So,
yep.
All right, as we wrap this show up, we want to do one little thing else before we go. We do want to make some shout outs. This could be you. We could eventually feature you on the show. Again, as we've mentioned many times, we want to hear from you guys, the listeners, the viewers. Feel free to reach out to us on the accounts. Just a few shout outs. My buddy Alex, he has a YouTube channel. He is the Crap Bit Gamer. That is literally Crap Bit Gamer on YouTube. He goes live with interactive Jackbox games on Friday nights. So definitely give that a check out. And then Timeliners Barbershop here in Fremont. You can book. I know people were not getting haircuts during that quarantine, man. That was tough, but he is open. You can book your appointment online at timelinersbarbershop.com to go see Garrison. He will cut you up nice.
I would have to say just to a local business that everyone here knows, Country Way, that place was struggling for a little while there. I know that they're back to indoor dining. They still offer outdoor dining. So definitely get back out there and just try and help them out, because I know that they can use every bit of business that we can offer. So definitely keep that place going, because that is a Fremont treasure right there.
All right. Jade, you got any?
I'm just going to shout out my brother's company, E3 Realty and Loans. If you guys, housing market's been exploding. So if you have any real estate looking to purchase a home or need a loan to purchase that home, feel free to reach out to my brother, Chris Stu, once again at E3 Realty and Loans.
All right. John, anything to add?
Yeah, I'm going to also do a barbershop, but a different one. Rick Sundale Barbershop.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, with that is a wrap on our very first episode of Sports Bets, but mostly Chaos.
Hope you enjoyed the chaos.
This was fun. I definitely enjoyed this. This was a good time. We want to thank you guys. If you guys have watched this video, we really 100% appreciate that. We'd really appreciate a follow. Again, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle is at SBBMC_podcast. You can also follow us on our YouTube channel. It's Sports Bets, but mostly Chaos Podcast. But yeah, once again, thank you guys so much. Again, we want to hear from you. Any comments, anything you guys want to say? This was our first go, so be nice. Okay. We have feelings. We are humans. Be nice to each other. Everybody love everybody. That's how we have to do it around this time. All right.
Like and subscribe button.
Hit that like and subscribe button. Yeah. That's correct. But all right. Well, if that's it, that's it. Let's wrap this up. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I forgot. We got one thing. We got one thing.
A little surprise.
We got a little bit of a tease here for you, and this is a good tease. you might be wondering, when is the next time we're going to hear from these jabronis? How about tomorrow? Yeah, we got this little thing called Jockparty. We have it's a basically Jeopardy, but it's sports themed, very useless sports knowledge. But we'll be dropping, we'll be dropping that video. If you've ever listened to 95.7 The Game, you are familiar with the game. All kudos to them. They were the guys with the ideas, but we did our own little version. And if you follow us tomorrow, you will find out which one of these three guys was our inaugural Jockparty champion. So yeah, but now I got that out of the way. Is that good? Did I get everything, John? Are we all set? Are we good to send them all off? Good. Perfect. All right. Yeah. Thank you again, guys. Really appreciate it. And we're looking forward to being on again time soon. So
All right, see you guys next time.
take care, you guys.
Bye-bye.